Oh, God, sorry I'm back in the old laundry room, but I got to tell you this. The man had an experience, and I was along for the ride. It was horrifying. It was 97 degrees in broad day sun. Every time I got near a patch of shade, I collapsed into it. I was panting. I would collapse into a patch of shade and pant. I had a gagging reflex of action. Like I was as if I had an anaphylactic shock one time. I was in a patch of clover and a beast flew across my nose. Is because I'm afraid of bugs. I kind of went into an anaphylactic shock. That's what a time I was having. Sorry, we're in the laundry room. But please forgive me. But I had to mention this because the man took me to go play frisbee disc golf. He put my collar on so I could talk. Then he took it off and he put a choke collar on. It was like a choke collar. Then he took that off and he put like this big leather thing and he hooked one of them like long leashes, like a child's leash, where the child could run out a ways and run away from the person. It's like 20 feet of leash, but then he could reel the child back in. He put me on a child leash thing. He gave me a nice leather, almost like a biker's collar. And then we went and played frisbee golf. We drove like 2.5 hours in that rattle trap the man calls a car. Maybe he should recharge the AC because I'm telling you what, I started shedding. I started going into like a panting mode and shedding. I must have dropped 4 pounds of hair on the man's back seat. But whatever. I'm a dog. This is the kind of things that happen. So we get to the frisbee disc golf. Mind you, it's up and downhill. You got to walk. It's 97 degrees. We pull up and we get out in gravel in broad sun. I almost had an anxiety attack. I almost collapsed. They gave me some water. I was so anxious I couldn't even drink it. I tried to get back in the car. It was almost as if I was trying to commit suicide. I'm like, if I jump in the car, I'm dead. If these people walk off and go start playing frisbee golf and leave me in the car, I'm dead. Why I even had an impulse to jump in the car, I don't know. But, so on we go. We go to the first tee and I'm trying to get out of the way and I don't know what's going on. It was horrifying. And about 3 holes in, the man was sweating like a pig, and he said they said they had water access. Like, this used to be an old camper or a campground, and with camper hookups, and there's lots of things where you could hook up and get. There's lots of spigots, freeze thaw. They don't freeze in the winter. Spigots, they drain themselves out. Lots of good water, fresh, water. So it's like Kentucky County water. It's pretty good, But we were. He's like, I've had it. I don't know where. Every time we got done playing a hole, he'd look around like he didn't know where to go next. He'd throw his frisbee disc in the basket, and then he would look around. He didn't know where he had to go. He had to went back and forth. He's walking me the whole time in the sun. Sometimes there was shade. If you hit a patch of sun, you're going to die. If there was a little tiny breeze and you hit a patch of shade, you was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in an oasis. That's how horrifying it was. But the man, he'd take 10 minutes to try to figure out. Always the people would catch up to us. So hey, buddy, go up on the hill up there. Yeah, go, walk. The tee's up that way. What's the matter with you? Every time we're catching up to you over here. Because every time and then the man would have to run back down and get his disc out of the basket, and they'd all be trying to make their par putts and their birdie putts, and he'd be down there bucking around like a moron, getting his disc out of the basket, and then it traipse back up. And I'm in tow the whole time. That's the thing. He was strangling me, killing me. He's dragging me. At one point, a bee flew by my nose, and I kind of had an anaphylactic shock situation. I started rolling around a patch of clover, gagging. I thought I was going to die. But on we went, and about the third hole, the man says, I need a damn Sherpa. I don't know where the hell I'm going. And the man kind of dropped out of the rotation as people were golfing their way through. And he went and he found himself a Sherpa. And the man used a frisbee disc golf. Some people said a caddy, but he was like a frisbee disc golf Sherpa because he'd always be telling you got to go this way, walk, lift your knees, get a little more, breathe a little deeper. We're going up a hill here. You got to get a little bit more, whatever. And then they'd try to calm him down and say, find your center. At every tee, say, find your center. Me, I was dying. I thought I needed a Sherpa. I needed a Sherpa to calm me, to give me a couple of Valium and calm me down. I mean, if I could have shot a bourbon, maybe I could have calmed down. But the man, he sucked so bad at frisbee golf, it was insane. I mean, this was an ordeal, and it drug on for like 2.5 hours. Then he packs me back into an overheated car. It's like you're jumping into a running microwave. As a dog, you're like, oh my God, it blasts you in the head. You're like, oh my God, your hair starts falling off you and you start panting, you start drooling on yourself. Every time you move, look someplace. You look that way, drool slathers and slings all over upon yourself. It's disgusting. And then we drove home. That was a frisbee golf thing. The man took me to go play frisbee golf, and I thought I was going to die.